I remember one evening my brother and I were in our shared bedroom, and my mother's boyfriend was very drunk, started yelling at my brother, and he walked to the front of the house and grabbed a gun. My younger brother was also up front in the living room, and he was pretty much catatonic. So I brought him back. I laid on the floor right next to him, just held his hand and prayed to God that the boyfriend wouldn't come back in. I remember the shots going off, and being very scared and not knowing if I was going to have a brother after that. A lot of people know that they have traumatic experiences in their life, but they don't really know how that shapes them. An ACE score is just a measure of traumatic experiences in your life. Knowing what those traumatic experiences are and how they shape you and what effects they can have on you long term can really put the control back in your hands of how you're going to move through this life. I grew up with an alcoholic mother who had difficulty parenting. My brothers and I experienced a lot of dysfunction because she was an alcoholic. Eventually, things started getting shut off. The lights got shut off first, then the water, and then we had an eviction notice on our door. It was supposed to be respite care. It was supposed to be just 24 to 48 hours, but she didn't come back and get us. There was a breaking point for me in the shelter where nobody ever came, and it was heart-wrenching. It was like feeling like you didn't belong, feeling like nobody loved you, feeling like there was no point to be here. So after I went into foster care, I really would accept any way that anybody treated me. It was to be expected. It's what I was used to. Before I turned 15, I got pregnant. I warned my social worker and talked to my social worker about how things would go. He made me feel like I could be the great mom that I was wanting to be at that moment, and he made me feel like I could do it. The day that he was born, when I saw him under the heating lamp, I knew without a doubt in me that nobody would love and protect him the way that I would. I knew that his life had to be different than mine, that the things that I had experienced, my son was not going to experience those things. Throughout my life, I always had people who believed in me or gave me nudges. All of those little nudges gave me confidence to build a little bit more, and it just kept me going and kept me having a vision of what my life could be, and eventually I made that my reality. My life is so different from anything I thought it would be. I never thought I would have a family who would sit at a dinner table and have a meal and laugh and have conversations. It was just not even an option, it seemed like, when I was younger, and I have that now. My son is now 19. I asked him at one point if he would take the ACEs quiz, and his score came back a 3. And for somebody who has an ACE score of a 10 to raise a child to have an ACE score of a 3, we have broken a cycle that has been in my family for generations, and I only see it getting better at this point because of the direction that my son is headed and his goals in life as well. I tell my story so that other people know that there is hope, that their ACE score doesn't have any bearing on what their future can be. No matter where we're at in life, what is going on at the moment does not determine necessarily what your future has to be. I tell my story so that people that are in the field know that they make a difference, and that even if it's just a small nudge, that it made a difference in my life, and it will make a difference in these kids' lives that they're working with.